For those lucky enough to be there, it was a moment to remember. El Rio breaks ground on a new clinic, and the Southside Tour features the taste of Tucson. These stories and more coming up next on Tucson City News in Review. Hi, I'm Elaine Mansell, and welcome to Tucson City News in Review. For this show, we're at the corner of Congress Street and 5th Avenue, the location of a recent event to celebrate an exciting milestone in the construction of the Tucson modern streetcar.
After 400 days of streetcar construction, an extra hour was only a short wait for a well-deserved moment of celebration. With officials, project managers, and the curious looking on, rail workers fired up a portable kiln to perform the last of 854 welds. This act completes 3.9 miles of track and related construction that went straight through major business and residential districts.
Their endurance through this process is something that's very significant for the city of Tucson and for the entire community. And I know that their patience will pay off.
Definitely just a long time in the making. It's a big relief, a big milestone to come to the completion of all the rail installation. It's just a point in time where we're just glad we're here. We're very appreciative and thankful to all the businesses and residents that have been patient with us and have kind of stood by us through this whole process. And it's just really just a huge milestone.
There's still work to do, but the streetcar project has already spurred $800 million of public and private investment along the corridor.
In our next story, we focus on the critical role the city plays in the planning and development process required to get new buildings off the ground.
The shovels were lined up as hundreds showed up to celebrate another sign of downtown revitalization. Thanks to a $5 million grant made possible through the Affordable Care Act, El Rio Community Health Center on the city's west side is about to undergo a $14 million, 54,000 square foot expansion.
1, 2, 3. Yeah.
We're really excited. This is an amazing opportunity for us to take this site and build a whole new facility to serve our patients.
The new clinic will offer a variety of services including family medicine, adult medicine, radiology, and pharmacy.
This is the site plan, and we were just going over what the variance requirements were.
New construction often presents development issues that need to be addressed. El Rio was no exception.
There was a grant deadline that had to be met, which accelerated all of our processes, and we had to be very conscientious and clear about that deadline because that is one of the major sources of funding for the project.
To meet the deadline and navigate a series of hurdles, BWS architects work closely with the city's Planning and Development Services Department.
The biggest hurdle was the timing and the phasing of the project, because on an already existing site, in this case they had to build a whole new building before they could take down the building that would then become their parking lot.
Several development issues required zoning variances. To blend in with the urban feel of the surrounding neighborhood, plans called for the building to be positioned close to Congress, and the required number of parking spaces would be offset by nearby bus lines and the new streetcar. Fewer parking spaces would allow the building to have a larger footprint on the site than permitted by current zoning.
So those three things were discussed with the city before we went into the variance process to make sure that we had understood all of the challenges and that we could construct a legitimate argument to move the project forward so that it's all in the best interests of the surrounding neighborhood and consistent with the existing development that's around that area.
We kind of had to just coordinate all of that and make sure that everything would be on track and they would be able to be open on their schedules.
How would Schambach rate the city's customer service?
Well, I would give them very high marks. They helped us identify who the major stakeholders were and helped us through the process. And they were very responsive to our questions. I hadn't done a variance process in a long time, so it was really helpful for me to have that sort of step-by-step assistance.
The applicant did the right thing in the beginning by contacting us and asking for a meeting up front and where we discussed all the issues.
Galen says the process that BWS architects went through for El Rio is the same process that's available to any customer that comes to the city.
When you have a project in mind, come in and talk to us first. Give us a call and tell us what you want to do and what your time frames are and what you're concerned about, and we'll get the right people together and help you get through the process as quickly and smoothly as possible.
This summer, Tucson Water kept teachers busy with hands-on projects they can use to help bring science and technology back into the classroom.
It's summer break, but thanks to a grant from Tucson Water, 25 teachers are already back in school.
Straight this way, 15 feet, 15 feet.
And you're going to come out 5 feet with your first catch can, kind of diagonally from what this would be called the edge.
Today, the classroom is Himmel Park, where teachers are learning how to conduct an audit to gauge the performance of the park's sprinkler system.
Make sure that they're all nice and level.
The teachers are measuring in catch cans the amount of flow they get in a given amount of time. And what we'll be able to tell is, well, are there areas that aren't being watered well? Are there areas that are getting too much water?
Carrie wants teachers to bring real-world experiences like this back to the classroom to help students integrate science, technology, engineering, and math.
With the data that they're gathering right now, we have a formula. It's the distribution uniformity formula. And we'll be going back and we'll be calculating an official number that irrigators use to help see if they're irrigating properly.
Are the sprinklers hitting each other?
Daniel Ransom from Tucson Water teamed up with Carrie to teach the 3-day course, appropriately called Project Wet.
Uh-oh, here we come.
What these teachers are going to be able to do is go back to their schools and have their students do this. And when their students start saying, okay, we tested this, the parents listen and the school listens and everybody starts to listen. So it's really a way of getting to community change.
Once again, Tucson shares the spotlight. This time, we were one of 25 cities selected by the White House to lead an ambitious effort to end veterans' homelessness.
Today, we're announcing a major initiative to end veterans' homelessness in Tucson by the year 2015.
The task won't be easy, but with over 350 homeless veterans in Tucson, Mayor Rothschild has decided to take action.
President Obama has made ending veteran homelessness a goal of his administration, and Tucson has been selected as one of 25 cities to lead the way in this effort.
To accomplish his goal, the mayor has enlisted a working group of agencies, including City of Tucson Housing, the Red Cross, Primavera, and the DM50.
So I would like to personally thank all of you as individuals, and particularly your organizations, for truly looking out for America's heroes and ensuring that as a minimum they have a place to go to sleep at night. So thank you for that.
Coordinated efforts like the one announced here have already shown success. Teresa Ramsey knows.
They've given me about 2 years worth of intense treatment that I needed to be able to come and stand here in front of everybody today and admit this. And I cannot tell you how grateful I truly am to have been part of this program.
Hopes are that this initiative to end veterans' homelessness becomes a blueprint that can be used to help all of the homeless in our community.
And we're going to start with dealing with our veterans, because it's our veterans who have stood up for us, and when they need us, we have to stand up for them.
This time, we take you to a special place where painstaking restoration is underway to help renew a unique attraction that has suffered from the ravages of time.
Just west of the Santa Cruz River along Congress Street lies a spiritual oasis, the Garden of Gethsemane. The name refers to the garden where Jesus prayed before being arrested and crucified.
It's a special place in that a lot of the people in these barrios grew up with these statues, and they remember them as children.
Artist Greg Schoen is practically a resident of this pocket park. A 2-year contract to restore these figures by the Knights of Columbus, Salvador Foundation, Tucson Pima Arts Council, and the city's Parks and Recreation Department is keeping his hands full.
I'm always rubbing my hands over the work that I'm doing to try and get more data as to what needs to be done.
Greg is reviving the work done by original artist Felix Lucero in 1938.
When he was in World War I, he was dying on the battlefield, and he vowed to God that if his life was spared, he would do religious statuary.
Years later, Lucero began sculpting these figures, like this scene representing the Last Supper.
This hand is going to go right there.
This apostle is also getting new feet. And since the figures are slightly larger than life, Greg uses models that have the right size hands and feet, like Bradley Liddicky.
It's hard already, but now it's going to go through an exotherm chemical reaction.
Well, and I feel that heat.
You feel the heat?
Yeah.
Already?
No, it's beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Comes on cool, and then as it dries, it does heat up, and you can feel the temperature rise.
Okay. This section of the foot is going to go onto this figure right here. So after I cast it, I'll just lay it there.
Bradley is also honored to have modeled his hands for the Apostle Andrew.
This is me.
One by one, Greg is bringing these figures back to life.
It's really wonderful, actually, working on this old statuary and fixing it up, knowing how valuable it is to the people of the city. I feel kind of privileged to be able to do that.
It's an amazing place for people to come, whether you're, religious, spiritual, whatever. Just that connection you can get to this is pretty amazing.
Finally, check out this culinary tour of Tucson's South Side. Take it from me, it's a trip you won't want to miss.
With an average of 150,000 riders per month, 12th Avenue is the second most utilized transit corridor in the city. And the aroma of freshly baked pan dulce lures visitors to travel to this south side of town by the busload.
Good morning, buenos dias. My name is Isabel Montaño. I am the daughter of the founder of La Estrella Bakery.
This is the first stop in a 4-hour Gray Line adventure called the Best of the Barrio Culinary Tour, where surprisingly, 50% of the tour goers are locals.
They want to have a little bit more of a taste of what it is to be a Tucsonan. And so, these tours help because it gives them a little bit of flavor of what the Mexican culture can bring to this part of town.
The food tour began 5 years ago, and today, Vice Mayor Regina Romero is hosting it.
So that we can really appreciate the gem that we have in 12th Avenue and the delicious food that is just waiting for us to go to.
We do about 50 dozen a day of just this kind here, and everything is done by hand.
The culinary tour includes a behind-the-scenes look at La Estrella Bakery, which opened its doors in 1986. La Estrella takes pride in making all of their products by hand.
It's an eye-opener when you see the process and how it's being done. Yeah, it's a lot of work. They do a great job back there.
El Merendero, where we're going to next, I believe it's the best, my favorite all-around Mexican restaurant in Tucson.
Tour co-founder Chris DeSimone builds the anticipation for the next stop.
As Tom Cruise said, or no, Renee Zellweger, you had me at hello, and Jerry Maguire, they had us at a shredded beef taco.
Another family-run business, El Merendero, got its start in Sonora, Mexico.
We wanted to represent the taco, and we went for their hard shell with the shredded beef, carne deshebrada, and then this chipotle crema on top of a chicken enchilada. Bon appetit, enjoy when it gets here.
The Best of the Barrio culinary tour includes stops at El Güero Canelo, Rodriguez Seafood Company, and more. Craving a taste? Visit GrayLineArizona.com to book your tour.
That wraps it up for this edition. For Tucson 12, I'm Lane Mandel, and I'll see you next time on Tucson City News in Review.